Here are the tools required for this module. The .NET 5 Software Development Kit, or SDK, which includes everything needed to build and run .NET applications. Docker Desktop, which has all the tools needed to run the multiple infrastructure services that we will use across the course. And Visual Studio Code, the lightweight but powerful source code editor that we will use to write, build, and debug our microservices code. A few of the future models will require more tools, but for now this is all that is needed. Let's go through the installation of these tools and the overall setup of our development environment. Before getting started, just keep in mind that the pages that you will see for downloading the tools will likely look a bit different depending on your operating system and the versions available at the time that you're taking this course. But regardless, the overall download and installation process should be mostly the same. So let's start by going to the download page for the .NET SDK. So let's go to .NET.microsoft.com/download. And this page is going to present you the latest version of the .NET SDK, which in my case that will be .NET 6, and in your case it could be different. But one thing to keep in mind is that this course has been designed for .NET 5, not for .NET 6 or any other future version. So even if you have .NET 6 or another version installed in your machine, you have to make sure that you get the .NET 5 SDK in your box. Otherwise, the project templates that you will be using will generate different code than the one that you're going to see in this course, and you're also going to get a few syntax errors. So, to get the .NET 5 SDK, what you want to do is go to this link, all .NET versions, and then you want to go into the .NET 5 link over here. Here, at the top of this page, you want to look at this table here, which lists the links to install .NET for the different operating systems. So, you have to choose the link that corresponds to your operating system. In my case, I'm running Windows, and my platform is x64. So I'm going to click in the x64 link, and that is going to start the download. So this download could take a few seconds depending on your download speed, so let's just give it a few seconds. Okay, so the installer has downloaded. I'm going to click on the installer. I'll click on install, and the installation starts. This could take a few seconds or a few minutes depending on the speed of your machine. So again, let's just give it a moment. Okay, so the .NET 5 SDK has been installed already, and I'm going to just close this window. And what I'd like to do now is to quickly go ahead and verify the installation, just to make sure that it has been installed properly. So to do that, I'm going to go and open my start main, and then I'm going to look for my terminal, my Windows terminal, and of course, depending on your operating system, what you can do is just open whichever terminal or shell is available in your box. This should work in really any kind of terminal or shell. And then all you want to do is just type .NET and then /info. And this is going to present you with a bunch of details regarding your version of the .NET SDK and your machine. Like in my case, it is showing that I have version 5.0.404 of the .NET SDK. And then there are many other details here, but in the end, this shows that .NET has installed properly into my machine. The .NET is ready to go. Now let's go ahead and load the page to download Docker Desktop. Let's go to docs.docker.com/getdocker. And in this page, if you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see again that you can pick your operating system. So again, my operating system will be Windows. So I click on Docker Desktop for Windows and Docker Desktop for Windows. So I'll click on that button, and let's give it a few seconds for the download to complete. Okay, so let's go ahead and open the Docker Desktop installer. Okay, so here it goes. We've just clicked these two checks right there. No need to change anything. I'll just click on OK, and that's going to get things started. Again, this may take a while, so let's give it a moment to complete. Okay, so installation succeeded. I'll click on close. Another thing about Docker is that Docker Desktop will usually not automatically start in your machine after installation. So you do have to start it at least the very first time that you install the tool. So to start Docker, I'll just go to my start menu. I'll type Docker. So here it is. If you're looking for Docker Desktop, I'll click on it. And you should see a new icon show up in the right side. Bottom right, I guess. This is starting the Docker process. Okay, so this screen shows up. I'll click accept all the terms, accept. Notice how Docker Desktop is starting. And then this screen shows up. Docker Engine waiting, Docker Engine starting. Give it a second. Installation has completed, it has started. I'll click on skip tutorial here. And at this point, Docker is up and running. And to verify that Docker is up and running properly, what I'll do is also type a quick command in the terminal window. But I'll open a second terminal just because we want to make sure that it has gotten the chance to read the new environment variable to locate Docker. So I'm going to close this terminal here, close my Windows, and I'll open a new terminal, Windows Terminal. And here, what I'll do is just type Docker version. And if Docker is installed, it should show up all the details about the current version of Docker, which in my case is version 20.10.11 or the Docker client at least. And with that, our Docker installation is complete. So now I'll go ahead and install Visual Studio Code. So I'll close this terminal and I'll go into the browser. Let's go into aka.ms/vscode. And here's the install page for VS Code. And as usual, you're going to be offered the version that corresponds to your operating system. So I'm going to click on this big blue button here, download for Windows stable build, and then download starts. And this should be pretty fast. This is a small starter. Okay, so I click on installer, set agreement, and then I'll just click all the default options here. Click install. Let's give it a moment to complete. Okay, so then I'll just click on finish, and VS Code is opening up right away. I'll maximize this window, and as you can see, VS Code has opened up. And that completes our installation of the initial tools. In the next lesson, we will go ahead and customize Visual Studio Code for C# development.